Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Lane Yappers. I'm Mox.
And I'm Rosie, and this is our Hungary recap.
Genuinely don't think the podium has finished, and we are here on our recording, so
Well done,
we are
us.
busy girls. So we were in Hungary today. Well, this weekend. And it's the last race before the summer break. Sad. What am I supposed to do for 3 weeks? But FP1, we had an announcement from Aston Martin that said Fernando Alonso has some back issues. So he will not be driving in FP1. Hopefully he'll be there for FP2, but Felipe Drugovich will be in for him. And I was like, well, my day can't get worse. And we also had Paul.
There was also an announcement for Ferrari.
Nope.
Sir is staying on as team principal.
Are we shocked?
So.
Are we shocked? But we also had Paul Aaron in for Nico Hülkenberg, but that was like a scheduled, that wasn't like, oh, Hülkenberg's injured or anything. That was an expected. That was expected.
But he's getting a lot of track time.
Yeah.
Recently.
Because he goes from Alpine to Sauber. But did you hear what the commentator said about Drugovich?
No.
Oh, the audacity these commentators have. I think it was Sky Sports said, Drugovich is definitely going to perform better than Alonso and outdrive Stroll.
Okay.
Well, Lance Stroll showed them, so anyways, I was just like, what? But that takes us into FP1. FP1, there wasn't, honestly, the practices, there weren't FP2. A lot of, no, but we have a few for FP1, which is, Gasly reported he had no power.
Yes. I don't really have that many notes for FP1. I have
Gasly no power, and then everyone was sliding.
Yeah. Like, everybody.
Because it's like, yeah. And then I have who was P1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. Which was
P1
obviously
was
McLaren's
Lando. P1,
P2
Lando, P2,
Oscar,
and P3 was Charles. That takes us into FP2. Alonso was back. Hülkenberg obviously was back. And immediately gravel was on track.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, everybody was feeling the gravel. Norris went off. I think Charles did. Just a whole lot.
Literally half of the grid went off. But Yuki came onto the radio and he goes, hey, the balance is messy. Whatever that means.
I think the notable thing from FP2 was how close the McLarens came to each other.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, yeah.
And then, as well as that, the Williams, so the communications and telemetry at Williams went down.
Yeah.
And because they told Carlos to box that they have. It was like very confusing. Carlos was like, I can't hear you. And they were like, box, we've got
and
no
they were like,
communication.
Yeah, box.
And then they told him to stay out because they got it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, Lawson, the other notable thing was... Yeah. Lawson was like, what is up with this dude? And they're like, yeah, he has no communications. But the other notable thing was Max had a towel in his cockpit, they think, and he just went... Phew!
Yeah. Like...
Somebody thought it was, I
That's
think it was Julian
bad.
Palmer was like, I think that's his balaclava. And everyone's like, how did he get his balaclava off when his helmet is still on? Like, it couldn't have been that. And like,
But
he
like,
obviously did try to chuck it onto the grass. But when you're going that fast, it's going to go behind you no matter how far you want to throw it sideways. It's going to go behind you. So it was on the track for a little bit.
yeah.
I don't think I think he just got a warning for it. But
Yeah, I mean,
we also have to note Alonso was P5 and Stroll was P4.
yeah, the what are they called? The Aston Martins were doing very well this weekend, I will say.
We were cooking. Thank God. Because if I had to go through one more bad strategy. But anyways, so it was Lando P1, Oscar P2, and Charles P3 again. There is a trend. Can we see what that is? Anyways, so that takes us into FP3. I have nothing but Anthony Mackie is in Charles's garage. And Hajar spun, which
Yes.
quickly led to a yellow flag that was cleared very quickly. That's all I have.
Traffic was really bad this session. That's all that I have, really. And then top of the time was Oscar, then Lando, then Charles.
Are we sensing a pattern, folks?
Very consistent top three.
Yeah. So that leads us to quali, where everyone was like, okay, the top three is going to be 2 McLarens and a Ferrari. I will say, James Hinchcliffe was like, I'm going to throw in Fernando Alonso. And I was like, you know what? Hell yeah. Fernando Alonso, pole position. Let's do it.
Well.
That takes us into quali.
Quali started. Yeah, quali started, and no one came out for ages.
Rosie, I was watching that, and I was like, I watched it after work, and I was like, it's been like 15 minutes. And like usually that's like Q3 because they're all trying to get just one lap so they don't have to waste their tires. But like Q1, usually they're out like that. But Williams was the first on track.
Yeah.
And I don't know if your broadcast was showing the onboard of Alex. He was fighting that car. Like he would turn the car left and he would be like completely turning left to get it to somewhat turn. Like he was fighting that car. It's kind of atrocious.
Yeah, likely from the Williams, to be honest.
But Fernando was cooking. He consistently went to P1 every time he did flying laps. I think Bro just remembered he was a champion.
But I would say other than that, like Q1 was quite boring.
Yeah.
No surprises.
I will say Kimi had one lap.
Yeah.
Kimi had one lap, which is so stupid. But the drivers that were out were Alex Albon, Nico Hülkenberg, Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly, and Yuki Tsunoda. And we have to note that Bortoleto outqualified Hülkenberg again, and Franco Colapinto outqualified Gasly for the first time. They said since, I think they said Miami.
And then Q2, there was some
rain.
There was a shock exit in Q2 for sure, but it did start to rain.
But there was also a delayed start because the marshals had to sweep the gravel because everybody and their mother was going off the track. Also, we have to note that Charles chose his own
Um,
strategy, whereas Hamilton stayed with Ferrari's strategy.
no comment. We will get to that later.
Um, but that's basically all I have. And then the shock exit was Lewis Hamilton. Um,
Yeah. His worst qualifying year. He holds like all the records from this circuit or something, like fastest lap, most wins, most poles, all of them.
I just feel horrible because in his post quali interview, they were like, "So what happened?" And he's like, "I don't know. It wasn't the car. It was me. They got to swap drivers." I'm like, "Sir, you are a 7-time world champion. It is not you. It is the car."
Yeah, it's just, it was actually awful. It's just so hard to hear
So
people talk about themselves like that, regardless of whether I wreck them or not, to be honest. But
yeah.
yeah.
But the other drivers that were out were Franco Colapinto, Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton, Ollie Behrman, and Kimi Antonelli. Which, a positive note for me, Aston Martin is in to Q3. Both. Not one, both.
Yeah, crazy. Q3, I think, surprised everybody. In general,
including the drivers.
Was pretty.
Well,
it was pretty standard, you know.
Well, right before Q3 started,
the McLarens were doing their thing.
Well, right before Q3 started, they were like, okay, it's drizzling, it's like mixed conditions. This is where Lance really performs well. This could be his pole position for Aston Martin. And I was like, I'm sorry, let me rewind and turn that up. Did they just say Lance Stroll, possible podium position? Not even podium, pole position? P1? I could have cried. Obviously that didn't happen. McLaren's just didn't look as strong.
Close. We were very close to an Alonso pole, I will say.
Tears in my eyes. Tears in my eyes.
So close.
Let me pull up the photo, everybody. Tears in my eyes.
Yeah, everybody was doing their laps. The McLarens were top of the times for a bit. And then all of a sudden they won.
I'm going to let you say it.
Charles Leclerc, pole position. No one saw that coming. Not me, not Ferrari.
Not even him.
And certainly not Charles.
My favorite interview is like, Charles, how do you feel about pole position?
Yeah, and he's literally like, I don't know.
He's like, I don't know how we got there, guys. I don't know.
He said he thought his lap was good enough for P3 and he would have been happy with that, and then he was told that he got pole position and he was just very surprised because
he's like, really?
Well, aren't we all? His radio was so full of like disbelieving laughter that almost comical. Poor guy.
Yeah. But that takes us into the race,
which literally just happened. So, do I remember anything? No, but
before the race started, it said it was announced Yuki was starting from the pit lane. To be completely honest, I'm gonna say it. This race was quite boring. for a long time. The first lap, interesting. And then the last few laps, interesting.
It was boring in the middle.
The between, boring. Yeah. But literally as soon as we started, Alonso overtook Lando Norris. Alonso, in the slowest car on the grid, overtook the fastest car on the grid.
I like jaw dropped when that happened.
Yeah.
I was, however, very focused on the front, and Charles did keep the lead like through turn one, actually for quite a while, like the first several laps. So all was peaceful in the horse house for a bit.
Yeah. But lap 5, Bortoleto was noted for moving before the signal, which then a few laps later, it was announced he has no further action against him. However, Hülkenberg, the same lap, was also reported for moving under braking, moving before the signal, and he was noted. And then literally, I think 5 or 6 laps later, they were like 10-second penalty.
Well, yeah, which is just bizarre.
It's bizarre that they both were known for it. I will say, if you watch the onboards, Bortoleto was not moving though.
And then by lap 7, Hülkenberg had gone into the pits and come back out. Because he pit to like get around traffic, but even like you're P20, why bother? Like
but lap 7,
there's
lap 7, Hadjar reported
there's over 60 laps to go, my guy.
Yeah. Lap 7, Hadjar reported he took gravel into his cockpit and his hands were killing him. Which I know that sounds ridiculous because everyone's like, oh, it's just gravel. But think about how fast they're traveling and how fast they're moving. And now, like, gravel to them would be like a bullet. Like, it is sharp.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's okay.
Not good. Not good at all.
But then also lap 11, Charles came onto the radio and was like, hey, what's with all this cutting? Which to this day, we still don't know what that is, but it's either the car engine was cutting out or the electronics were cutting. Either one, not good.
Yeah, not surprising, but not good. I'll be honest. And then...
But yeah, before the pit stops, it was quite boring. But lap 14 was when the first pit stop happened. Mind you, this was a 70-lap race. So basically anybody who pit that soon is just guaranteed to do a 2-stop. And that was Colapinto. He pit. And then a few laps later, which was lap 17, which they were saying after lap, I think 21 laps, they will not know the data about the medium tires because that's as long as Pirelli told them it could last. And so they were kind of like saving their tires, I think, to really push. But then lap 17, Oscar's radio was radioed and said, okay, you can push now. And Oscar was like, okay, I'll do that. But it came out that Lando Norris has been pushing this entire time.
Yeah. McLaren have just pissed me off this race, I'll be real honest. What was I going to say? Yeah, McLaren...
Basically...
You have a drive... There's a driver ahead in the championship and a driver ahead in the qualifying, and they're the same driver, and you somehow give the preferred strategy to the guy who's behind in both. What are you doing?
Me?
No, like McLaren.
Yeah, I was going to say, me personally, I would have given it to the lead car on track if we're really not doing first driver, second driver. But I also would have done it, I would have given the preferred strategy to the driver who's leading the championship, who was also the driver that was ahead on track. But you know what? I was not in the strategy meeting, so maybe this was talked about. I don't know. But basically, after lap 17, everyone pit except Bortoleto and Alonso.
Yeah.
And Lando.
Yeah. To say, seeing
Which,
the new
after
race
that happened,
leader with like Leclerc race leader was a beautiful thing to see. Ferrari, I hate you. Next question.
After that happened, I realized, I was like, okay, wait a minute. The only people in front of Alonso that haven't pit yet and will probably be in front of him after he comes out of the pit lane is Lando, which means Aston Martin could get a podium. I was like, what? Hello? Okay, guys, we need to lock in. Meanwhile, I was expecting them to pit in the next few laps. That didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That did not happen whatsoever.
So before Alonso pit, lap 30, Hamilton was pushed off the track with Max. That is being investigated as we record this, so I will update you. That's why I'm checking my phone, just to make sure the F1 bot doesn't tweet that he got a penalty. But everyone's like, oh my gosh, Hamilton versus Verstappen's back. We are so back. Real racing's back. It's for P11.
Yeah. This is not a championship fight. It's an out of the points fight. You have multiple world champions fighting for P11. So
yeah. But then lap 31, Norris pit. It was a 1.9 second pit stop. That is crazy and impressive. And yeah. Crazy. And then lap 37, mind you, lap 22 was when everybody else pit. And then lap 31 is when Norris pit. Lap 37 is when Aston Martin went, okay, Lance Stroll, we're going to pit you.
They pit him on lap 37.
Alonso, yet to pit. Yeah.
That's quite... I mean, I'm
he was on medium
really
tires for 37 laps.
Okay, King.
Mind you, Alonso has yet to pit. Also, lap 38 is when Will Joseph came onto the radio to Lando, and he was like, hey, Lando, I know you're warming up your tires, but you got to stop making mistakes. I'm letting you know, if I was Lando Norris, I would just DNF. I'd be so bitter, I would DNF.
Yeah, I'd be fuming. Like, literally fuming. What do you mean? Like, I know that. Shut up.
Yeah. But then, don't worry, guys. 2 laps later, lap 40 is when they pit Fernando Alonso on medium tires. He stayed in P5 on medium tires for 40 laps.
Really?
I know my goat.
That's ages. Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about this race is they kept bringing up that Alonso won here he got his maiden win there in 2003, and I was just like, I was 2 years old in 2003. Kimi Antonelli wasn't even a thought in 2003. What do you mean?
Yeah. Anyways, then lap 46, Oscar pit. Well, sort of. They said, hey, Oscar, we're going to pit you. And they were trying to bluff Ferrari. By the way, they've used this since like 2015. Ferrari fell for it.
Yeah. Oh, no comment.
Yeah. And then lap 49 is when Ollie came on the radio.
Low IQ group of human beings, I'll be honest. Embarrassing, but what can you do?
Speaking of Ferrari,
so
Ollie,
there goes,
lap 49, came onto the radio and was like, hey, this car is broken. And Haas was like, yeah, we know this car is broken. You have damage. And then the lap after, they were like, hey, Ollie, box to retire the car. And at least F1 TV never touched on that.
What did he have damage from? Because
they never said?
I have no idea. It was just all of a sudden he was in the car. He was in the garage.
Yeah.
And he looked like he was crying or something. But why? Like, what did he get damage from? I don't know. It was just all very sudden. But so McLaren pit Oscar for a second time, and Oscar came out behind George, I think. And he was 12 seconds off Lando, who was now in the lead. And it was just the remaining laps were to catch him. So he caught George, and then he obviously had to catch Charles. But he caught up to Charles pretty quickly, and there was no competition from Charles. Charles just let him right through. And I think Charles just knew that his race wasn't with either McLaren. So
McLaren.
Yeah. And then
his
Oscar
race
had
was
to spend the
probably
remaining laps
with
chasing
George.
down Lando.
He knew that from the beginning.
Yeah. So.
But lap 60 is Williams. Williams called team orders for Alex, so Alex overtook Carlos, I think. And then lap 62, it was Lando, Oscar, Charles. Oh no, sorry. Right before that, Charles was really angry. He's like, you guys, you've screwed me up. This is why you should listen to me. I should make the strategies. You should talk to me. Yeah, now I can't even get a podium. You screwed it up. Like, screw you.
Genuinely,
right after that, George passed Charles.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, but then George passed Charles for P3, lap 62. And then, really, the cameras just stayed on Lando and Oscar because McLaren said, we're not doing team orders. You guys have fun. You fight. And it did seem like Oscar was going to overtake Lando until lap 69, where Oscar locked up, and that basically sealed the deal. It kind of like happened the same as Spa, except reversed. Oscar locked up, and Lando went on to win. But while that was going on, it was also announced that Charles Leclerc got a 5-second penalty for moving under braking. But don't worry, guys.
George
He didn't lose any positions because Fernando Alonso was like 18 seconds behind him. I mean,
which is good
did you
news
see the
for
video?
me. Of Charles braking, or the video of what?
That of him moving under braking. He almost took.
Yeah,
He almost took George out. I'd be angry too.
he definitely did
So,
do it, but like George, yeah, leave it alone. He has to battle his Italian demons. Okay, leave it alone.
but yeah, that was the race.
I don't have anything else to say.
Fernando Alonso P5. Fernando Alonso P5. That's all I have to say. And Lance Stroll P7, and they are happy going into the summer break. Thank God. But yeah. So we will see you for Zandvoort.
Bye.